Obviously, heading into, obviously we're speaking, obviously, Trev and Jan will be next week as well, but I think this game is coming just before the next episode, Jan. Champions League, it was either them or, obviously, the other teams, obviously, Benfica. It was one of them. I had a feeling, I think everyone did, that it was probably going to be Paris Saint-Germain. They've been very difficult this season. I think, obviously, all that money over the years, and obviously the last Champions League final they were in was against Bayern Munich, Kingsley Coman knocking them out in that final, 1-0 in that game. They just haven't really transitioned. Obviously, they had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe didn't fail to materialise any real impact in Europe. And obviously, Ligue 1 speaks for themselves because the amount of money and the amount of resources they have in terms of competing with the other teams in the league. You've seen Stade Brest and obviously Lille have done well already in this season's Champions League. Thoughts going into this game, Jan? We've had some, obviously, the goals that Bobby scored against Paris Saint-Germain under Jürgen, and we've met them a couple of times over the years, but have for you PSG improved over the last 12 months in terms of Luis Enrique since he's come in? You've got rid of a couple of the big superstars now, and it seems to be a bit more of a collective, more of a team unit.
I think this is a monster. This is a monster game.
Yeah.
They are a really, really good team. I think if you give the job to a guy like Luis Enrique, you have to allow him to do what he wants to do, and he wants a team. He didn't want superstars. He wants a team that's going to work. And I think he's finally getting his message through. I mean, it was what? Game day 5, 6 or whatever in the Champions League when he played Manchester. Or might even been game day 7, actually, when he played Manchester City. And they had to win.
They beat them,
because they were in real trouble of not going through. And obviously they smashed Manchester City, and then they went to Stuttgart the last game, and I think he put 4 or 5 past them. So they're playing well. They got... I'm not over keen on the goalkeeper. Don't know.
Never am I.
I've never been.
I do watch him, and some matches where you're like, "What are you doing?" He's an absolute giant as well. You'd think he'd cover every corner of the goal, mate. But
they've got a right back, Hakimi. What a smart right back! He is a really good player, isn't he? McKinnon's been there for years. The midfield. I don't know whether he'll go with his normal 3. I think he might want a bit of physicality in there. So Fabian Ruiz might come in and give him a bit of power. But the front 3 is the 3, aren't they? I know that Kvaratskhelia has only just joined him and hasn't quite settled yet. But we all know what that boy is capable of. He's on his day. And obviously Ousmane Dembélé is playing as well as anyone. And then the boy I really like, Bradley Barcola. Playing on the right.
How good do you think he can be?
He looks special, Jack, doesn't he? He's got a little bit of everything, doesn't he? For starters, he looks like he's got the right attitude, doesn't he? And he wants to run forward. He's got pace, and he's capable of scoring goals. And he's still only a young boy, and so they got some really good players. I think the one thing that might be against them is that the quality of opposition we're going to find in PSG, we find almost every week.
In the Premier League.
They don't. This is a massive step up for them to be able to cope with our level, our intensity. So, and the biggest thing, Jack, and I think this is the deal breaker, isn't it? That we play the second game at home.
Yeah, it always is, mate. Always is. Obviously, you mentioned, I wanted to quickly touch on, not many, but obviously João Neves. I think he's one of the best young up-and-coming midfielders in European football, signed from Benfica. How good can he be as well? You just mentioned with Barcola. I think he's been one of the signings over the last 12 months. I think not a lot of people have noticed how good he's adapted to life in Paris. I think, obviously, he's got the most assists in Ligue 1 this season, 7. Barcola, 6 assists as well. But he's a very special player, and I think as you know yourself, mate, playing for Liverpool, the engine room for any teams, I feel, is the midfield. It's such an important core of the squad that needs to be on every single game, because otherwise you get absolutely rammed through. João Neves, is he destined for the very top?
Surely you don't win many trophies without a good midfield, do you, Jack? I mean, you need people in that midfield to do the job, isn't it? So the word about Neves was out long before he got his move. Everybody was talking about him, rave reviews in Portugal, and I thought he came and joined PSG, and I thought he was a little bit quiet to start with, and you kind of look and see. The thing is that you can't prepare yourself for life outside your own country until you've tried that. And so you think maybe he's struggling one or two things in it. But as the team has progressed, he stepped up, hasn't he? So to answer your question, we had a Neves at Wolves, didn't we? Ruben Neves. So he might be in Saudi Arabia now, wherever he is. This boy is more than capable of at least being as good, but I think he's going to be better already now. Ruben Neves never quite made the top level. This boy is special.
100%, mate. And obviously Dembélé as well. Obviously, moving from Barcelona, was plagued with injuries in his playing career, really. But it's good to see that he's getting the opportunity now and certainly would do anticipate him to be one of the key threats coming into this game next Wednesday night, in terms of obviously 17 goals in league on itself, really. But obviously stepping into the position that is being left, the big hole that is being left by Kylian Mbappe anyway. But as we said, or you just alluded to there, obviously Luis Enrique is building that environment in terms of a good core of good camaraderie as well, but most importantly, getting results on the football pitch. Ousmane Dembélé, obviously, I think he can go on the left, he can drift on the right. He's got so much good technical, and we've seen that against Man City a couple of weeks ago as well.
In this form, he's worth every penny that Barcelona paid for him when they took him for Borussia Dortmund for 100 and whatever it was. The only thing, Ousmane Dembélé, I think, I almost get the impression that he's wasted a couple of his years as a player by not quite getting them ready, not quite being there. And I just wonder whether he might be a little bit fragile in terms of his confidence and everything else. And so I'm thinking, get close to him. Don't allow him. What he wants to do is obviously use his pace, isn't it? And that ability, you say, goes one way or the other. He's capable of going both sides, isn't it? So, I think don't encourage him. Don't give him any encouragement, because if he gets encouragement and you all of a sudden see spaces they can run into, he's going to be a handful. So let's get close to him, close him down, and don't give him any encouragement. I think we might be all right. But in this form. Yeah, fantastic.
We've got our key threats as well, so it's not just all about Paris Saint-Germain, as we know. We'll play our game as well, as we all know, mate. But if we can it's such a, especially playing away from home in Europe, Jan, you'll know yourself, and obviously how Liverpool have done so well over the years now, 130 odd years history across every European competition as well. It is special, but in terms of just dealing with that, Liverpool players, it's not new to them. We know what it's all about, really. And I was going to say, you and Trev do score predictions. Could you give us a score prediction for the Paris Saint-Germain game? Hopefully?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I have to be honest. I think it's great when you play against a team who've also got potentially great players, because you get a chance to see great players, don't you? And then you also get a chance to see actually how good your players are. So we get some European teams to Anfield, and you hardly know any of the players, but that's not going to be the case here, is it? So every Liverpool fans go into that game, go, okay, well, let's see what Dembélé and Bakola, let's see what they got. And also you feel that big players like we've got will use that to step up, won't they? Because players want to go, he's a good player, but not tonight. I'm not going to let him do. So I think the PSG, it'll be a great occasion, a fantastic atmosphere. I think there'll be goals in the game, and I think it'll end up PSG 2, Liverpool 2.
Oh, tell you, do you miss the away goal rule, or do you think? I used to watch. I think you as a player, the importance of the rule. I think it does take a bit of the jeopardy out of it, but because as you know, like going away from home, getting a goal, even one goal away from home, was just so pivotal, mate. I do hope maybe one day we might go back to it, but I don't think we will. Just a quite a quick closing one in terms of the Champions League. Has it worked? The adaptation of the new league? Do you think it's worked? Obviously, well, I think the money, we know why it's being adapted. Obviously, the money coming into every club in Europe. We've seen Leo and even Villa finishing in the top 8 as well. It's done really well, and given the lesser teams, no respect to any of them, but an opportunity to get into the latter stages of the competition, mate. But how have you gauged the group stage as a whole, and even the draw? Because it took me about half an hour to figure out how we were getting anyway. It's a couple of videos where I watched anyway. But do you think it's been a success, really? Obviously, it's been a great success for Liverpool because we come top as well. But in terms of the overall sense of the competition,
no, I don't think it's been a 100% success. I always think that we felt with the old format, the boring bit was the 6 group games, wasn't it? So what they've done now, they give us another 2 group games. We got a little bit of life in it because unexpectedly some of the bigger clubs were struggling. I'm talking about Manchester City and PSG, where some of the big clubs were struggling, so we got a bit of life in it. Hence the reason that we also got the Real Madrid Manchester City game in the playoffs, isn't it? But I don't think this format can guarantee us that next year, because I'm convinced that Real Madrid won't struggle that much next year. They'll probably find themselves back in the top 8. And then I have a problem with, when is a league table if you only play against 8 of the 36 teams? When is it fair to go on goal difference when you don't play the same teams? But I'm more than prepared, the same as with VAR, I'm more prepared than to give it a chance. And obviously we'll run with it. And eventually we won't know any difference, will it? It'll be all that we know. 36 club league. But the wise thing to do is to do what Liverpool did, isn't it?
Just win them all.
Win them all.
Nearly.
We beat first, and you got a pretty good idea in it. But then, of course, we didn't expect to win the league and then have to play PSG this quick. But it's a pretty tough route, isn't it? If we're going to be in Munich, that's for sure.
Yeah, obviously, if Liverpool, not to jump ahead of ourselves anyway, but obviously, potentially, we got any game in Europe is always difficult when, but we're on the side of Real Madrid and obviously potentially Aston Villa or Club Brugge. If we do get past them, but we'll focus on the PSG games, as we know. They're going to be difficult in themselves, as we know, Jan. But Jan, massive thank you for joining me this evening, and hope you have enjoyed it. Massive thank you for coming on, and obviously Trev will be joining you for the next episode. But massive thank you everyone for tuning in this evening. Very much appreciated, everyone. Obviously, if you're newly discovering Anfield Index for the first time, obviously Trev and obviously Jan do Molby on the spot every single week this season, so get involved in the comments as well. But much appreciated for everyone that is tuned in tonight. And make sure you head over to AnfieldIndex.com and head over to subscribe. Obviously, you want to become a pro member. That's £3.33 a month as well, just to eradicate and listen to all the podcasts that we do over there at Anfield Index in their full entirety as well. But Jan, thank you, bud, for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And you'll be back with Trev very soon anyway. Hope you have enjoyed tonight's episode, mate. It's been a pleasure.
I was just going to say, Jack, well done, and I'm going to tell Trev he's not needed.
Don't tell him that, Trev. Sorry, no, you'll certainly need Trev. But it's been a pleasure. It's obviously an icon of Liverpool, mate. But it's been an absolute privilege, mate, and to speak to you and certainly Reds. Hope you have enjoyed it tonight, and look after yourselves, but just enjoy being a Liverpool fan at the minute, because we're absolutely bloody flying, aren't we? And long may it continue. Get behind the lads, and everyone, see you later, and you never walk alone.